All right, before we go, let me ask you, Katie, when you hear the name George Washington,
G-Dubs.
yeah, what kind of mascot do you envision?
G-Dub. G-Dub himself. George Washington.
Well, you're obviously way, way, way off. You see,
Yes.
George Washington University is in search of a new nickname right now. Why, you ask? Well, because the name Colonials is just too racist. So instead, it appears they've decided a far better and less controversial name would be the Hippos. According to the university's website, GW's association with hippos began when President Stephen Joel Trachtenberg brought a statue of a hippopotamus bought it in 1996 and gave it as a gift to the class of 2000. It continues. Unlike colonials or these other monikers, hippos can be a symbol for students to rally around on game days or events that require no reckoning with history. GWU says colonials will continue to be used until a new moniker, possibly a hippo, is introduced next year. Katie, don't you love how a university named after our nation's first president is now embarrassed by our country's history?
And a hippo, when they say they can rally around, it's going to take all the students to get around that hippo. Who's going to actually play the mascot? They're going to have like 3 college students in the mascot uniform to fill in for it being a hippo.
I can't see how that's going to work because there's going to be some fat shaming with
There's
the
a
hippo.
lot of it. Well, hungry hippos. I mean, is that fat shaming? We can't do that. We cannot do that. This is America.
Speaking of ridiculous things, the world's richest man is putting his last name to test by getting into the fragrance business. Elon Musk's Boring Company is bizarrely selling a fragrance called Burnt Hair for $100. And apparently more than 10,000 bottles have already sold. Ew. In a tweet, Musk calls it the finest fragrance on earth. Now, some of you might recall a few years back when the Boring Company offered flamethrowers for $500 a pop and ended up selling 20,000. So I think heat seems to be a theme here. But if you feel like adding a little burnt hair to your Christmas wish list this year, you can place your order at boringcompany.com/burnt hair. Katie, smells like a little odd thing to me.
Elon Musk is the captain of the trolling community at this point. He may have
Trolling.
elevated himself. I think he's CEO of that as well at this point.
We're going to wrap things up by discussing Katie's favorite restaurant, McDonald's. I'm kidding. Or maybe just the Happy Meals. Daily Wire has put together a list of the best and worst Happy Meal toys Mickey D's has ever released, and we thought we'd pick 3 from each category. So let's start with the worst toys. Ooh. And the first is a toothbrush and toothpaste. This toy, if you want to call it that, requires no explanation why it made the list. Next, we have gardening tools. I mean, how many kids get excited about playing with a trowel and seed packet?
I did.
Yeah, Katie did. Well, how many?
I
One.
did.
Finally, on the worst list, we have the Step It fitness trackers. These wearable fitness trackers, which were introduced in 2016, were meant to encourage kids to be more active. Instead, they caused literal burns. Oh, no. McDonald's was forced to recall the product after receiving dozens of complaints of blisters on kids' wrists. Yikes. All right, let's take a stab at some of the best toys. And we start with Hot Wheels.
Classic.
Yes, this Happy Meal promo worked because it took a popular toy and kept the quality, making it a collectible for kids that helped enhance the collections they already had at home. Next, we have the McDinos, or McDinos? Changeables. The fast food behemoth partnered with the Transformers franchise in 1990 to create these collectible characters that changed into fast food items and dinosaurs. They were offered in different shapes of different burgers, drinks, fries, chicken McNuggets, ice cream cones, hotcakes, and the Egg McMuffin. finally, I have a toy that I think even Katie will agree is one of McDonald's best. McDonald's attempted to capitalize on the Beanie Babies craze of the 90s by introducing a smaller version to go along with their Happy Meals. Since people were already convinced they could become millionaires hoarding these little stuffed animals, the promo caused chaos at drive-thru windows coast to coast as customers swooped in trying to collect all the different versions. Katie, I would agree with these top picks. Would you?
Well, I don't know why just Beanie Babies wasn't the actual top pick.
The
numero
top.
uno. It should have been the top pick because that was crazy at that time.
A craze.
So, yeah, it was a literal craze. And I do remember seeing some of these, and I don't think they're all the best, but I'd have to get the full list to really evaluate. Either way, I won't do it because it's McDonald's.
Yes, you're not an expert, neither am I. But anyway, that wraps up this segment. More to come next time.